Alright, so we got some work done on this. Didn't really film a whole lot of it. Last video we built this section and now I finished up the bottom pipe. So today I'm just going to be Today I'm just going to be welding the blow-off valve on. So I've been kind of debating where I want to put this thing. I was thinking about putting it right here, which would be kind of nice because then it would be a little bit hidden from the front and then I wouldn't have to run a vacuum line very far from the intake. But I think I want to go back behind the intake tube with the AN line for the coolant system. So I think I might just go underneath. So I do have this little 180 down on the bottom section and this does fit inside here. So I think I'm going to do something like that and just keep it kind of down there hidden out of the way. Actually, on second thought, this is some 3/4 inch heater hose. So I was just kind of testing it to see what the bend would look like. It's really not that bad. Obviously the 16 AN is going to be bigger than this, but I think I'd be able to come off of here with like a 120 or maybe even a 90. I think a 120 would probably be better. And then the hose would look something like that, and I could come out of here with a 45 and then right across this way. So I think I might end up doing that. So then I will end up just putting the blow-off valve on the back side of this thing. I think that does look pretty cool. And then, like I said, I just have to run a really short vacuum line just from the intake somewhere down to here, and I don't have to worry about routing it, hiding it, getting it stuck in a belt, extra length that could be exposed and broken, all that stuff. All right, so I got this bad boy all punched out with the curve in it. I originally bought a flat one because my original plan was to put it on the bottom side of the intercooler. I was going to do 2 of them, one on each side, just to make it symmetrical and put them there. I guess there was really no reason to do 2 of them. That was really the only reason, was just so it would be symmetrical, so I figured that was kind of economically stupid, so I just decided to do 1. But hit it with the grinder, like the bench grinder, and then the belt sander, and basically just use the roller on the belt sander to get it all smoothed out. So it's just going to go on like this. Actually fits pretty good, so I'll take that pipe off and then we'll weld it. Alright, so I threw a couple tacks on here just to get it test fit. If the fitment is okay, then I'll fully weld it and then I'll drill the hole out. Usually better to weld it on then drill the hole, because with the aluminum you can blow this out pretty easily. So if you fit it right and then try to weld this, it's just easier for it to blow out. So weld it on, then drill it out. Alright, so I got the pipe back in place. Test fit looks good, doesn't hit anything. This also does have room to come up a little bit, so it'll give a little more clearance. So now I'll fully weld it. Okay, so I got everything bolted back in there, or clamped back in. There's what the blow-off valve looks like. So I think that turned out pretty decent. It does have quite a bit of clearance all the way around it, even though it looks pretty tight. So I'll be able to come straight off of here right to the intake with the vacuum source. There's actually a lot of room behind the water pump, so I might even be able to do some kind of a vacuum block or something down there if I need to, or put the boost control solenoid down there. You know, room for activities. Also starting to do some brainstorming on how I want to do the exhaust. I just took my old downpipes and clamped it in there for now. Not quite sure if I like that straight down angle right there. I mean, this side would work to go straight down in between the frame rail, but this side's going to be a little bit more challenging because I have the steering shaft there. So I did order some 1 3/4 stainless and in like a 180. So I want to finish up this piece with the steering shaft, I'm thinking, before I start to work on the exhaust here. So I think my plan for this is to use these stainless 45s and then come off of the turbo here, come down, maybe extend this out so it'll be a 45, 45, and then come back, and then have another 45 that comes down. And then I should be able to get that to go down inside the frame rail, but I want to make sure that I leave enough space so I don't get the steering shaft in the way. So that part there might be a little bit tricky, but I'd like to get a 3-inch going all the way to the rear and then do a muffler and a loud valve in the rear. I was debating on splitting it up here and then having like a dump go here and a 3-inch go back, or a 2.5 go back and a 3-inch dump. But I think I'm just going to go all the way out the back and then do the loud valves, muffler, and the dump all in the rear. The main concern that I have here with doing a dump up front is valves do leak a little bit, and I don't want to get any like exhaust fumes in the cab. I did deal with that a lot on this truck because I always just had the dumps in the front. And I was getting like exhaust fumes in the cab because of the holes in the firewall and all that stuff. So I'm just going to dump it all the way to the rear so I know that stuff's behind the truck and don't have to deal with it. The only other thing I need to address with this is these clamps are nice, but when you have a clamp on top and bottom, it leaves this whole section able to kind of swivel and turn. So I think what I'm gonna do is do some aluminum standoffs, one on each side of here, and then come down with like some flat bar and kind of hold this thing up and then bolt it in with some standoffs. So I will have the quick release, but it'll be 2 bolts also, just to kind of keep this thing from swiveling, because this moves around quite a bit. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. See you in the next one.